What are hallucinations?
Please tell me I'm not hallucinating right now.
Senses are being activated.
Nothing stimulates the mind and heart like live theater.
It's a perception of having seen.
I'm having full open eye hallucinations.
Heard.
Did you hear that?
Being touched.
Damn, that felt good.
Tasted.
Delicious.
Or smell. But it's not really there.
Something smells fishy.
That would be your breath, Robin.
It's all in your mind.
Have you lost your mind?
Your brain is processing all of this information to be real, whereas in actuality, it does not exist.
Don't always believe what you see.
It may look like you may see a person, but that person's not there. That's visual.
If you start hallucinating, good for you.
And then the next one is hearing, and that's the auditory. What's it?
They're out to get you. Someone's out to get you. They're coming for you. Someone's outside the door. Can you
Yes. Right. That's an auditory hallucination when you actually hear things that don't exist.
Wait, did you hear that? What was that?
And then the next one is olfactory, which is your nose. Smelling.
Did you guys smell that?
And if you smell me again, I'll punch you in the throat.
Now, the touching is the tactile or the formication. Now, the tactile, where you really believe someone is touching you. Now, you get into the realm of sometimes this can become sexual in nature because you really feel that you're being touched in a sexual way.
It's a really good feeling, man.
Like when you go to a certain place, I don't know, if you smell a certain smell, you're going to get memories of something. So then now they smell the smell. So then they feel somebody touching them because they remember. I'm just stretching, but I'm just.
Yes, you are.
I see your face.
Our society is a matrix. It's all an illusion.
Tasting hallucination. The proper word is gustatory hallucination. Well, the hallucination comes in when I believe it tastes good.
They're not bad.
And those are hallucinations.
What is your illusion of bliss?
You are entering the Urban Suite with Dr. Lisa Lacan. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about sex.
Hello, my urbanites. You have landed in the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa Lacan. Welcome. Listen, we have a very interesting episode tonight. We're talking about your mental wellness. What are you doing to stay mentally well? What are you doing? I'm going to share some of the things that I do, how I maintain my mental wellness, but I'm going to share some things that, maybe make me fall off the cliff in a sense and become mentally unwell. So listen, I need you to I need you to share. I need you to thumbs up if you're following me on YouTube, Urban Tunes for Change Network, or Facebook or LinkedIn. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to only have Urban Suite on 3 platforms: YouTube, Facebook, the Urban Tools for Change Facebook page, and on LinkedIn in terms of the visual platforms. But when it comes to the audio platforms, I am going to be iHeartRadio, Amazon, and Spotify. I am really trying to move everyone to YouTube. I need you all to come to my YouTube channel. I need you to come to my YouTube channel, Urban Tools for Change Network. Google it. I need you all to become subscribers. Absolutely. So listen, tonight we're going to get into it after a word from our sponsor, Blessed Ministries Incorporated, and of course, and unfortunately, our missing person for the week. So we'll be right back. Stick with us. All right, so we are back in the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa Lacan. So who do we have for our missing person? We have Mr. Bryston Martin. All right, I need my readers. All right. So Mr. Martin, Bryston Martin, he's been missing since March the 30th, 2024, and he's missing from Louisville, Kentucky. Listen, I need you all, especially my visual urbanites. I need you to look at his picture. He is 20 years old, from Louisville, Kentucky. He's a male. His race is Black. His complexion is medium. He's an even 6 feet. He's 158 pounds. His hair color is black. His hair length is short. And his eye color is brown. He's been missing since March 30th, 2024, from Louisville, Kentucky. Now listen, my Apple, Amazon, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Of course, you cannot see how Mr. Martin, how he looks. So I need you to pay attention to this. All right. So if you're in the area of Louisville, Kentucky, even if you're not in the area of Louisville, Kentucky, it is free to share this information. So what I need you to do, I need you can go on my Facebook page. This is going to be on here, and I need you to share. You can share this segment tomorrow or later this week, but I need you to share. So I need you to listen to this. His location last seen: Bryston left his home and got on public transportation in the 900 block of South 32nd Street the morning of March 30th, telling family he was going to Waverly Park. Listen, I have no idea where Waverly Park is, but I need you all, if you're from Louisville, Kentucky, if you have family in Louisville, Kentucky, please share this information. He got on the bus going to Waverly Park, and then I want you to listen to this: circumstances of his disappearance. Bryston is autistic. This is Autism Awareness Month. He is autistic, and he has a medical condition which requires medication that he doesn't have with him. Let me repeat that for my Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and iHeartRadio urbanites. Bryston, he's autistic, and he has a medical condition which requires medication that he doesn't have with him. and he's been missing since March 30th. So it's at this point, I need you all to flood social media. I need folks to perhaps, if you have loved ones, if you have friends that work in the hospital setting, check the hospitals, check the correctional facilities, check the homeless shelters. He's somewhere. All right. So anyone with information, you can contact the Louisville Metro Police Department. And that telephone number is area code 502-574-5673. I'm going to repeat that number again. Area code 502-574-5673. Or you can get in contact with the Black and Missing Foundation Incorporated. That's BAMFI. And their telephone number is 877-97-BAMFI, which translates into 23664. No, I'm sorry, 22634. That's 22634. That number is 877-97-BAMFI. Let's bring Bryson Martin home. Listen, I have to say, sometimes the missing person is one of the most challenging segments of the show, especially if the person is young, if they have a disability, because it's very challenging. It adds to the layer of difficulty in trying to locate a person, because we don't know if he was lured away and someone said, meet me at Waverly Park, and they knew that he was perhaps somewhat vulnerable. There are a lot of creeps out here, a lot of creeps. And sometimes the people that are listening to me, sometimes you are the creep. Let's be real. Not everyone that listens to me, not everyone that tunes in has good intentions. So let's do what we can do to bring Mr. Martin home. All right, so let's get into it. So mental wellness. So oftentimes, growing up, we focus a lot. I know in the Black community, we focus primarily on physical wellness, whereas mental wellness was pretty much overlooked. We didn't talk about it around the dinner table, around, the breakfast table. So how are you doing mentally? How do you do? And I think that's why a lot of trauma and toxicity persists in our community. We are loaded and filled with hurting people. And the saying, hurt people, it is, I believe there's some truth to that, because you're so enmeshed in your hurt. That's how you're going to operate in your life. And you are what you're made of. So if you're made of hurt, that's what you're going to, spew in a sense. So for me, when it comes to mental wellness, one of the things that I have to be aware of, my frailties. I have to be aware of my struggles. I need to be aware of my challenges. And I need to understand that those struggles, those challenges, they don't define the essence of who I am as a person. And once I come to grips with that, I have to accept who I am. I am flawed. I'm very flawed. Sometimes I'm overly opinionated. Sometimes I may get on people's nerves. That's who I am. Do I intentionally want to hurt people? Absolutely not. But because of the skin that I'm in terms of not my skin color, but spiritually speaking, because of the skin that I'm in, I'm going to have shortcomings. I'm going to sin. I'm going to do all those things. But I have to recognize who and what I am when I look in the mirror. And then oftentimes, a lot of us in the community, we don't know how to see ourselves outside of who we are because we are around people who don't challenge us. We are around people who operate just like us. We are around people that we believe should not challenge our existence. And if they challenge our existence, if they challenge our character in a positive way, we look at them as the enemy, and we choose oftentimes to surround ourselves with yes men. And what happens when we do that, we don't mature as we ought. So look at your 5 closest friends and see what are they bringing into your life, and also what are you bringing into their life. Because not for nothing, the days are short. And let me tell you, I'm going to go to the wellness, but remember last week, I clearly spoke to you all about we don't know the expiration date on our lives. We're always anticipating, well, when is Jesus coming back? But Jesus is not coming back anytime soon. And I said specifically, every one of us, we have an expiration date when we are going to physically depart from this earth. No one is exempt. I'm not exempt. You're not exempt. No one is exempt. Well, as it turns out, last week, a good friend of mine, he actually died the Wednesday after I did my show on Tuesday. And this is the thing. We all went out to dinner the previous Thursday. I spoke with him the previous Friday. And I was going to make plans with him to see him last week on the campus of Hampton University. I never got a chance to see him, but our last conversation was very rewarding. Very rewarding. And because of that, I have no regrets about our relationship. I have no regrets about how we ended the conversation, because I did not know that would be the very last time I would speak with him. And that's one of the things of maintaining my wellness. I try not to have regrets in my life. I try not to have regrets in my life. I try to give people their flowers while they're living. I try to give compliments to people and to congratulate them while they're living, and not give them or wait to give them flowers while they're in the hospital bed, or wait to give them flowers over their casket. That's how I maintain my mental wellness, by pouring into other people. Pouring into other people. Because at the end of the day, it's not about me. At the end of the day, it's not about just you. At the end of the day, it's about all of us coming to grips that we are frail. At the end of the day, it's about all of us coming to grips that we need one another. At the end of the day, it's about all of us trying to make it across the finish line and helping our brother, helping our sister get there. But I'm going to tell you, it's very challenging. It's very challenging, especially if your hand is reached out to someone and they don't want help, or they're at a place where they're so downtrodden that they can't see their way out. And when it comes to that, I learned how to say, I can't help you anymore. That's another way of maintaining my mental wellness. I just can't help you anymore. I'm sorry, I just can't. I'm not exhausting my energy on dead weight. I am not, as the Bible says, I am not casting my pearls to swine. I know when to say, I give up. I give up. And I was just talking with someone, and I said, the deciding factor, and my husband was there, the deciding factor for me to move out of New Jersey to come to Virginia was when they stole our car in New Jersey from the driveway. I said, I'm done. I'm not helping these folks anymore. I'm done. I'm done. I know where I would like to, my end of days, I'm not helping people that don't want to be helped. Because at the end of the day, it's about my mental wellness. And I said, I'm done. I've done enough. I've done enough for the community. I've done enough. I said, I can't. So what did I do? I said, I have to remove myself from that environment because I knew my season is up. And sometimes we stay in seasons when the season is up. And when the season is up and you stay in that season, you have no peace of mind. And that can go towards a job, employment, that can go towards some type of relationship. But at the end of the day, it's all a relationship, even with your employer, even a partner. When you know the season is up, don't try to struggle and stay in the season because you're going to be doing damage to your mental health. You're going to be doing damage to your mental health. So, another thing that I enjoy doing, I love the arts. Love the arts. I think music for me, certain songs, of course, music for me is very, sometimes it can heal me if I'm having thoughts. It can soothe me. It can and provide peace for me. I love going to concerts. I just love good music. So this past Friday, my husband and I went to see Tamia and Joe in Norfolk, Virginia at the Chrysler Hall. And let's see, put up the picture. Let me see. That's the picture of Tamia right there, Tamia Hill. She's married to Grant Hill. They've been married for 25 years, I think she said. Excellent performance. Excellent. That's her right there. That's another image of her. And those were her background singers. They were excellent. She intentionally, I believe, selected those two young ladies because not only could they sing, they could dance. I mean, her set was phenomenal. I give it up for Tamia. And let me tell you, I never would have gone to a concert with Tamia. I knew some of her songs, but I'm not a Tamia fan or anything like that. Namaste, yes. Let's see, who's this? Felicia? Yes, namaste. Thank you. I'm not a big Tamia fan. I think I only know 2 songs, but I have to say, her set was beautiful. Vocally, she just, oh my gosh, it was incredible.
Didn't you say she has MS too? Didn't you say?
Yes, That's what I read, that she has MS. Oh yes, glad we had a wonderful time. It really was. It was good. I love some concerts. I really do. But yeah, they said that she has MS. And I was like, "Oh my gosh." And if you know anything about MS, it really starts to deteriorate your muscles and, so I pray for her, but vocally she still has it, and she's not a dancer per se like Beyonce, but her dance steps were very efficient for her age, for her style, everything. I really enjoyed her. So if you get a chance to see her, like if there's a summer concert series or something like that, definitely her vocal ability is beautiful. Beautiful. So
But on
she,
the other hand,
yes. On the other hand, where's the other one? Let's see. That is Joe. I don't even know Joe's last name. What's Joe's last name?
Joe, period. Joe, period.
I'm sure on his birth certificate.
Say Joseph.
It's just Joe. I don't know, but let me tell you, just Joe gotta go. Let me tell you, just Joe. Yeah, just Joe. I was so disappointed in Joe. Joe, I'm about to break my bell. Now that's the only reason why I went to the show, to see Joe. Joe didn't have not one backup singer. Joe was singing over a track. And certain points of the song, he was lip syncing. And then his musician, do you remember the Jackson 5 cartoon?
Yeah, that was good.
Strumming.
Yeah.
That's what his musicians were doing. Looked like they were just strumming. They were sloppy. They weren't tight. It sounded like they were playing over a track too. Like it was just.
Oh man, that's terrible.
People were leaving his set.
Mm.
The woman that was sitting next to us, she left his set. At least he had 30 minutes left. I thought they were going out to get like M&Ms, going to the concession stand. What the? And I told my husband, they didn't come back. And then I just kept seeing people just trickle out. I guess when he missed that lip thing, when you saw that he was supposed to be singing and he didn't, people are like, I'm not wasting my time to see Joe. So, and then we had, and then my husband, these are courtesy of Sean Khan, my husband. He had so many pictures of Joe grabbing his crotch. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, what?
I would like to chime in more, but these people are wilding. And I wish you would have talked about generational trauma a little bit, because of what's going on at my house. Just talk about mental wellness a little bit. But
oh yeah, we're going to talk about that. Oh yeah. So basically, this helps my mental wellness, going to concerts, even if they're lackluster. But I have to say, Tamia, she kind of, I really think it was, like you said, her show, and she just had Joe, because to be perfectly honest, I would not have gone to see just Tamia. Like, I would not. I wouldn't. So yeah.
She's the one that held the show together, though. She was the one that was worth coming to see her, though.
She was. It really was. I told my husband, I said, you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing her again. Because she really put in, like, just full of integrity for herself, for her artistry, for her craft, as well as for her fans. Joe, I don't know if it was a money issue where he couldn't hire background singers, or he just wanted to keep everything for himself. I don't know. But I was not impressed with Joe. And then he kept his glasses on for the longest time. And I'm thinking, dude, let's connect with your audience. I don't like when musicians and artists, when they're on the stage singing and they're wearing sunshades. I don't like that because to me, you're not connecting.
He was hiding at that point. He was hiding.
Yeah, and then eventually he did take them off, but to me, it was just too late. My thing is, you know, you want to connect with your audience as soon as you hit the stage. And first of all, I would look at his pants. Now, I was not expecting him to dress like that. Yes, self-care. I was not expecting him to dress like that. I don't know what I expected. I think I expected a little more, I don't know, like a suit, like a sharp.
A little more flash, maybe, like a little, like him, like he wanted to be there, like he wasn't just walking in off the street.
Yes. People in the audience were dressed better than him. Like, I don't know. I just
he
felt
wasn't wasting no money on no costumes and nothing like that. He got to pay some bills.
I guess, but I just, I mean, even like if he wore, I don't know, just something, not the jeans, and those jeans probably cost like $300, $400. I don't care, but you know, I just want him to, I don't know, just look sharp, you know, but it was a no for me, a no for Joe, a no for Joe. So prior to me entertaining just nice, just, you know, what's the guy that he wears like suits? Pitbull? Is it Pitbull?
Maybe so, yeah.
Yeah, like that. I like how he dresses because I don't see that all the time. I don't see it all the time. So Joe's, I'm not a big Joe fan. I mean, you know, no Joe. That's right. No Joe. Nope. Joe. Bye. So we were talking earlier about how I know when it's time for me to leave because, you know, there in certain communities, it's just, people call it intergenerational trauma. However, I call it generational toxicity. And what generational toxicity is, as I define it, is toxic behavior that persists from generation to generation. Because trauma to me is a soft, you know, it's kind of soft. I look at it from the manifestation. The manifestation of trauma can be toxic behavior. And that's what persists, unfortunately, in our community. Generational toxicity. So what does generational toxicity look like? It looks like when people cannot control their emotions. That means they pop off just like that. They react versus respond because they have not been taught. There are no role models in their life that show them the difference between responding and reacting. These people are so reactionary that they live for it. They live for the drama. And I'm going to say something. You may not agree with what I'm going to say, but sometimes for some people, it's just too late. Some people are just cannot be rehabilitated. And I cannot waste my time on people who are not able to be rehabilitated. And people may say, well, Dr. Lisa, everybody can be rehabilitated. I don't believe that. I don't believe everyone can be rehabilitated. I believe some people choose not to be rehabilitated and they choose to stay where they are. Some people choose to stay where they are. Some people choose to move and navigate in the world slightly different. But I have come across a lot of people who choose to stay where they are because they don't know any better. It is so embedded in their DNA. Listen to what I'm getting ready to say. It is so embedded in their DNA. They don't know how to move beyond who they are.
It's like that level of drama is their comfort zone. Like that's what their norm. That's their norm. Like when it's no drama, it's like something's wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're bored. They don't know how to navigate. They don't know how to operate. It's sort of like, let me ask you a question. Do you know how to speak Russian?
No. No.
Right. So that's how it is for them. They don't know anything about it. They don't know anything about a different type of behavior for them to even begin, because it's not in their environment. The reason why I don't know how to speak the language like Russian, the reason why you don't know how to speak the language is because you were never taught. You were not enmeshed in that culture. You were not integrated in that culture. No one taught you that language. So if no one taught you the language, if you're not around it to experience, if you're not around it to see it, if you're not around it to hear it, you don't know how to speak that language. The same thing happens behaviorally. If you are not around people to show you otherwise, you don't even think that there's anything else out there except what you know, because everybody in your environment speaks English. Everybody in your environment acts the same way. Nobody in your environment speaks Russian. So when I say people choose, oftentimes they remain in their comfort zone because that's all that they can, that's all they can perceive, that's all they can do, that's all how they can react and respond, because no one is in their sphere to show them differently. Now, sometimes you are placed in an environment, but because you are so used to, because certain things are rote, it's like a robot. It is a very hard thing to break. Sometimes habits are hard because remember, we talked about what a habit is. Your habit is your habitation. What is your habitation? If you look at your habitation, that's what your habit's going to be. So in our community, we have generational toxic behavior, generational toxicity, because not for nothing, it starts in the home. So if great grandma act a certain way, grandma is going to act a certain way, your mother's going to act a certain way, you're going to act a certain way. When you're pregnant in utero with that child, trust me, you're going to transfer hormones to that child. So that child, as soon as that child is born, that child has already start to develop all of those behavioral traits based on how you operate hormonally. So your child now has this DNA of what you have.
And so then it's like if you come back home trying to act normal, it's like you speaking Russian to everybody that's in your house.
That is correct. And no one can understand you. And they think you're odd. They think you're weird. They think you, and this is why when you ever, associate with a certain class of Black people, and I'll say in air quotes, and they speak proper, they used to get teased. They used to get teased because they were like, well, why is she speaking proper? Like, what is that? So you want me to speak improper? Like, you want me to speak like you, where, the English language, it just doesn't matter. You want me to go out the house looking like you with a shower cap on my head. You want me to go to a job interview looking ratchet. And it's like, you know, even where we work, like in downtown Newark, you know, we have to really explain what you should wear versus what you should not wear for a job interview, because people are ignorant. There's a whole ignorant community out there. It really is.
Or if you should come to an interview smelling like weed.
Yes.
Because it's normal. I mean, for everybody to smell like weed. Like, you know.
Right. That unfortunately is normal behavior. And then what will happen is, and I tell people, just because it's, and I'm using air quotes, legal, your employer has a right to drug test you. Listen to what I'm saying. Your employer or potential employer has the right to drug test you and to say, no, we don't want you, because you are operating or will operate with an impaired mind on the job, whereas I will be liable. I can get sued if you are impaired on the job and someone is injured. You're not worth that.
It's just like coming to work smell like alcohol or something too. It's the same thing. It's like alcohol is legal, but you're not supposed to drink on the job though.
Right, exactly. And the one thing between alcohol and marijuana stays in your body longer than alcohol. So say, for instance, if a person consumes alcohol on a Wednesday and they do some type of urinalysis on a Friday, depending on how much water you drink, whatever, it's out of your system. Someone uses marijuana, smokes marijuana on a Wednesday. They do a drug test on Friday. Now, depending on the type of test they do, if they extract your hair, it's going to be in your hair. I don't care how many chemicals and whatever you drink.
Normally, it's going to be in your system for at least 30 days.
Yes. That's a long time.
But I think it's really important, though, what you were saying, though, with the not being able to regulate your emotions. That's the main, that toxic behavior. That's the part that, because over 50% of the fights that happen out here are because it's just people are in their emotions and they just acting silly for that minute. If they were to stop 30 minutes later, they never gonna feel like that anymore.
Right.
But they get wrapped up and then they talk themselves into a corner, talking all loud and going crazy. And the next thing you know, somebody done got shot or something.
Yeah.
Or just some emotional conversation that wasn't about nothing.
Yeah. Not about anything. And a lot of it is retaliatory. So it's a lot of unforgiveness.
Right.
Most of the crime that happens is, you know, this person did me wrong, so I'm going to get revenge on this person. And the bottom line is they don't know how to regulate their emotions. Because if you knew how to regulate your emotions, that's a part of forgiving. That's a part of forgiveness. And unfortunately, the school system is so focused on other things that, you know, they don't really talk about that in the school system because they're not getting it from home.
And listen, I'm not I would want to talk a little bit more, but I don't want to go too deep. But even like with yesterday, there was the officials from the school were right there. This is a school down a block from, 1 block away from me. But when the little altercations and stuff started, they were trying to calm them down, but they just did not want to be calmed down though. Like they were trying, like the little school security guards or whatever, they was trying to break it up and stuff, but they just didn't want to. They loved the drama. They were having fun. You know what I mean? Like they were laughing, and just escalating.
Yeah. That's what the
mama was helping them too.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's really, when you think about it, it's terrible. It really is that we don't know how to regulate and control our emotions. We really don't. And the slightest thing, we will pop off. The slightest thing. And then oftentimes you're having this internal turmoil, and it's not really against the person that you're confronted with at this time. It could be something that happened 5 years ago. It could be something that happened, whatever. And what you're doing is you're displacing the anger, you're displacing the hatred that you had for that situation onto someone else.
Exactly. That's so true.
And it's like, and because you didn't properly deal with that issue that happened 5 years ago, and now this new person triggered something. And I can't remember the name of the woman, but she said triggers are visits from the past. That's what a trigger is, a visit from the past. I'm going to get you all who actually said that, because when I read that, it was like, that's exactly what a trigger is. It's a visit from the past. And that's right, meditation can help. These folks don't want to meditate. They look at meditation as, I'm sorry, they look at meditation as some white Europeans. I'm telling you, they don't, they want to stay up. They want to stay hype. Meditation is boring. They don't want to do it. I know, but they should. Yeah, they should, but they don't want to. It's sort of like, I went to a conference and they were talking about financial literacy. Now, this is another thing y'all may be like, Dr. Lisa, what are you talking about? People need to know themselves. That's right, they do. They were like, Dr. Lisa, you're going to say something that may be offensive. I'm getting ready to say something. So they had a conference and they're talking about financial literacy. Basically, I was like, you all need to start financial literacy with kids in elementary school. Like, really, the basics. Financial literacy, second graders, third graders, really start planting seeds in them then. Because let me tell you, 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds that have so much debt, that have limited skills, limited ability, it's too late, I think. I'm not spending my time on an audience that is going to, like, I just can't. Maybe if I was 20, maybe if I was 30, but I'm just not doing it anymore. I'm not. I'm focused on, and I'm gonna say this, I'm focused on people that I see a higher probability on my return on investment at my age. I can't. I told him, I said, working with older adults, sometimes it's just, I think it's a waste of time. Long time ago, kids used to do banking through school, or remember Christmas Club for kids. Yeah, they don't really, they don't really do it. We're so focused on, some other things of the school curriculum.
And they would have those like little saving things, like you would save and you would have a little chart and say you have a goal, and then you would be putting quarters in this little thing. Like they had a little cardboard thing, and then you put quarters in it, dimes, and then that would be all the money that you saved and stuff.
Right. So yeah, so my wellness, I come with, for me, I come to understand my season. I can no longer work with, in my age, people who don't want to be rehabilitated. I can't do it.
Yeah, let's take a quick little break for this sneak peek.
Okay. Peace is a state of mind. It's like when you go to the movies, right? You see these images projected to you. So in your mind, you have these images also.
Ugh.
So you have to ask yourself,
what would the hero of your life's movie do right now?
What are you thinking?
I don't know what was going on in her head.
What were you thinking?
What is the movie scene that is playing repeatedly in your head?
If your life was a movie and it started now,
you choose to have peace.
I choose.
So your thoughts are sort of like that projection. What is being projected in your mind space?
Ugh.
What you focus on will grow.
Look, I have to focus on the buffet.
And you have these characters and you have scenes that play out. I mean, our imagination is so wild. It's just your imagination.
We have to nuke our imagination.
It causes you to be confused. It causes you to just have just disturbing thoughts. So that means you can delete. You made a choice. You can delete those images. You can erase those images.
Delete, I suggest.
And to me, the thought is the root of everything.
When I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Your mind space is the root of everything.
It's all in here.
Your feelings are a manifestation of your thought life. This scene that's playing in my head is starting to take authority over me. I have to stop. I have to stop.
I'm just gonna stop playing.
Try to stop me.
Personally, I'm choosing violence.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes I look back at these sneak peeks. I'm like, I said that? That was so good. But yes, you're like, dang, I said that. Well, see, it's so interesting because in our field of rehab counseling, we really don't focus on our feelings because we do see feelings as a manifestation of our thoughts. So oftentimes when I look at therapists and they ask, so what are you feeling? What are you feeling? And they never get to the core of what are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Why are you thinking that? What are your thoughts? And when you really get down to the thought of the matter, that's when you're really tapping into the foundation. That's when you're really tapping into the foundation. So again, for me, how I maintain my mental wellness, I try not to have regrets. I try not to have regrets about people, places, or things. Now, regrets may come, but I try my hardest not to have regrets. I try my hardest. One is once you do what you can do, that's all you can do. The other thing is you have to understand seasons in your life. Is it winter, spring, summer, fall? Meaning it's time for you to operate here or it is not. And when it is not time for you to operate and you are still forcing yourself in that season, you're going to be miserable. You have to learn how to say no. And that's one thing I never had a problem with even growing up. I was very clear about saying no. I didn't care. This is terrible. I really didn't care about people's feelings in a sense. Even growing up as a little girl, if I didn't want to do something, like, no, I didn't give into peer pressure. I really didn't give into peer pressure because some things are just stupid to me. Like, no. And then
that's a good thing. That's a good thing, right?
That is a very good thing. I don't know why or how I was wired like that. I don't know what it was. I didn't give into peer pressure. And giving into peer pressure, you're forcing yourself in a season that you're not supposed to be in. You are prematurely putting yourself in a season that you're not supposed to be in. And that can create a havoc over your life. It really can. And people's lives are destroyed because either they prematurely left or they prematurely injected themselves when they're not supposed to be. And then the other one is, embrace something, whether it's music, some type of art form. And like what Felicia was saying, meditation is wonderful, but we have to teach people how to meditate. So Felicia, I'm going to have you on the show so you can show us how to meditate properly, because meditating is not like this. Looking at what time is it? How do you clear your mind? A lot of people don't know how to clear their minds because they have so many things that are happening. How do they clear their mind? So then what happens is they end up self-medicating, drinking liquor, smoking marijuana, using other drugs to numb themselves because their mind is racing. Their mind is racing. And people need to be mindful. Yes. Oh, thank you. We're going to set that date for May. And then, you have to really just be authentic. You have to know who you are. You need to know your frailties. You need to know what you're challenged with. You need to know that you're not perfect. Because I think what's happening now, there's so many filters out here on social media and with AI. I could look like I'm a multi-millionaire just with AI, and then somebody would see me at Food Lion in the supermarket and they'd be like, that's Dr. Lisa? And she don't look nothing like that. Because I have all this fake filter. And people try to keep up with the fake filter life. And that's not good for your mental wellness. That's not good for your mental wellness. Now, I may wear a little makeup, self-medicating, pushing emotions down. That's right. Yep. I may wear a little makeup, now and then, or, but I'm not going to come out here wearing a wig. Now, if I wear a wig, it's because it's going to be all in fun. I may do that.
We said we was going to try that. We said we need to try some of them little wigs. Just do a makeup day or something. That might be fun.
I think I may do that. Yeah, that may be fun.
Throw everybody off. You came on here with some long.
Oh my gosh, that would be crazy. But that would be fun.
Do that one day.
Yes. Felicia, no wigs for me. No wigs for me either. Nope. But yeah, it's just really just trying not to have any regrets. Like I said, with my friend, I had no regrets. I had no idea that would be the last time I would ever speak with him. The last time I would ever see him was over dinner. We had a wonderful dinner, wonderful conversation the next day. And the plans that I had, it didn't come to pass because the Lord took them off, And then I understand the season that I'm in. I understand when it's time to go, you got to go. And, the arts, music is wonderful, reading, exercise, getting, being surrounded by people that can assist you in your growth. That's what you need. People, being around people who can assist you in your growth and you want to assist them.
But some of the but even with that, a lot of the music nowadays for the younger people is very toxic though.
That is true.
So that's what they're, immersed in all day. And then the environment, the fake environment on social media is toxic.
Yep.
Then your home life is toxic.
Yes. And that's all, that's what I'm telling you. That's that generation. Yes.
It's toxic.
Generational toxicity. It is just, and it's insidious. It's slow, and it's sort of like you don't even realize that you are a toxic person because you're around everybody that's toxic.
It's normal. And it's just
normal. Toxicity has become the new norm in our community. And we got to do something about it. We got to talk about it. We have to. What is happening with our youth? Remember I said a long time ago that what I project and what I see was youth getting into carjacking. That's exactly what's happening. The youth now, the age of people engaged in criminal activity is becoming lower and lower and lower. We're talking about 11-year-olds robbing and stealing and driving a car because someone has told them that because you're a juvenile, your opportunity, and your chances are not going to be as severe because you are juvenile. So someone is implanting in them toxic thoughts so that they can engage in toxic behavior that will persist from generation to generation to generation.
Yeah, and you know what? That's what like last week there was like a little blow up on social media on Twitter and stuff because you know who Sexy Red is?
No.
You never heard of her?
Mm-mm.
I can't even say what her song is because that the pink and the brown, you never heard of that song? Anyway, I can't even say it really. Anyway, so she does sexually explicit songs. That's all she does, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, the school board, it was either a junior high or hopefully it was a junior high or high school, not an elementary school. But they invited her to the school to do a talk or whatever, and to maybe talk about how she overcame adversity and da. But they didn't end up letting her come in, not because of the outfit she had on, which was not appropriate. So you know, it wasn't appropriate, but because she smelled like weed. They're like, look, you not only do you have the wrong outfit on, but you come in here, we're going to come talk to these kids, and you smell like marijuana.
But why would they even invite her?
That's what people were saying. They were like, well, why did they even invite her? Because that's who she is. But then, some people say like, oh, because she could tell them from their perspective how they could. I don't know.
She can't.
I know.
She's too enmeshed in it. She doesn't know another perspective. And the educator that thought that and invited her, they're toxic as well.
Yeah.
There's no way that they cannot be toxic.
Yeah.
If you invite a toxic person to speak to there's no way I would want her speaking to my children or my grandchildren. Right. Absolutely not.
Right. It might have been
find anybody else.
It might have been like somewhere like the town that she was from or something like that.
No,
because like she's very big, like what I mean. She's she's got whatever amount of exposure and money or whatever like that. So maybe to that small town wherever she's from, that's a big thing, because she so-called made it.
So basically, the message is, you can make it if you sell sex.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it if you exploit your body. You can make it with these lyrics that are so sexualized. That's the only way you can make it.
Yeah.
And if you smoke weed, you dress a certain way, that's the only way you can make it in this society. So what we're going to do, we're going to invite her to the school because she's made it based on selling sex, based on explicit lyrics. And that's what I'm saying. That's the toxic nature. So what you're doing now, you're planting seeds into the next generation of little girls about toxic behavior.
Yeah, and so because how everybody found out about it was because she was the one that made the video complaining that they didn't let her come in because she smelled like weed. So she was mad and she made a video. She posted it on her social media. So she was using it to get more likes and more exposure on the internet. She used I don't know if that situation benefited her somehow, but
it's going to get worse.
Yeah. If you just Google a picture of Sexy Red, you'll see what I'm talking
about. What's her name? Sexy what?
Sexy Red.
Like R-E-D?
Mm-hmm. Just Google a picture of her. You'll see.
Let me Google right now.
Go ahead and Google Sexy Red, and just so you can see who she is real quick. Because she's a piece of work. She's a piece of work.
Ew. Where's she from? I gotta put my glasses on.
She from down south somewhere. I don't remember where exactly.
Oh, she's from Missouri.
Okay. So yeah, in that little town wherever she's from, nobody from Missouri in that part of Missouri ever got big like that. So they probably
Nare Weary. This is according to Wikipedia.
Look at her top song. Look at what her top song is.
Pound Town.
What you think that's about?
I can imagine.
It's what you think it's about.
Yeah, right.
You don't want to know the hook to it. She's very ghetto. She's very ghetto.
You know what? I'm going to have a show on here about, you know, I would not want my sons bringing home a woman like this.
But she's rich. She's
I
rich.
don't care. No,
she's rich.
I would not want my sons bringing home a woman like that. There's no way. Nope. Wouldn't want to do it. Would not want to do it. I don't care. No.
She's rich and famous.
She may not be rich because she may be in debt to the record label.
Yeah, true.
They're not rich. And no. Nope.
She's famous. She's famous.
I don't care. And that's you know, unfortunately with our community, we choose fame over wealth. And to me, that's like, no, that is no. Having fame over wealth is doing nothing. That is so selfish when you think about it. Like, you could do more being wealthy and no one know who you are rather than being famous and being poor.
But people are here for the likes. Them likes get that dopamine flowing. Like when everybody knows you and all that stuff, that's what they live for. They don't care about, like, it could all be window dressing. They don't care.
It's awful.
They're there for the likes.
Awful. And let me tell you, it's like, oh, so no, I've never heard of her, and I would not want my son to be like, Mom, here's your future daughter-in-law. I'm like, hell no. No, absolutely not. That's what I believe. I believe in arranged marriages. I do. I think we need to have more arranged marriages in our community.
You know, people are gonna go for that.
Well, and you know what? And see, and that's the demise of our community. Because I'm telling you, there's my husband would tell you, every time I meet someone, I'm like, I wonder if they would be good spouse for our daughter. You know, I do. I'm like, I wonder if, But that's something that we don't talk about in our community. I'm a big proponent of arranged marriages.
Have you heard what's going on with, I think her name is Aoki Simmons?
Yeah, I'm not feeling her. It's something.
Did you see what's going on with what she's doing right now? Like, you see why
dating the old man?
Yeah, 65-year-old man. She's like 21.
And not only that, to me, she's being, I believe, very disrespectful to her dad.
But wasn't her mother real young when she met her dad?
Yeah, very young.
Like, Kimora Lee Simmons was like a little girl, like a teenager or something.
15 or 16.
When she met Russell.
But she's calling her dad by his first name.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I saw something, but I didn't go into it that far. Yeah,
I'm like, what? She never says, Dad. Russell's not giving me any money. Yeah. Russell's not. I'm like, what kind of dynamic and relationship? There's no way my daughter would say, Sean's not giving me any money. Sean, there's something off with that.
Disrespectful. It's some disrespect embedded.
Yeah. And she's lashing out on there's some trauma that's going to turn it's toxic behavior. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's generational toxicity. Yeah. To call your father by first name and saying that he's not giving you money. Well, you're 20 years old. Get a job.
She's 21. Yeah.
21. Get a job.
Yeah. I'm sure she had every opportunity to get educated and do all kinds of stuff.
You have your father is a multi-millionaire. Your mother is a millionaire.
Yeah.
And you're talking, Russell doesn't give me any money for the, Russell doesn't give, man, go somewhere.
And so she was in there kissing up on that, a 65-year-old man.
Let's see, what does Felicia say? I was a director of childcare when the Macarena came out.
The Macarena. Yeah.
Oh, Macarena came out. Little girls were shaking their little bottoms and adults were encouraging. Right. I would tell those adults it's cute until she is on top of the body. Yes. You're planting seeds. Hey, Macarena.
Well, well, I'll tell you something that just reminded me. In the Spanish community, there's a little weirdness with that too. Like having these little girls dressed real, like they let them wear makeup very young.
Yeah,
weirdly very young. You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit of toxicity when it comes to that. I feel too, but they be trying to make them grow up too fast.
Yes.
You know, but we do it in our community too.
Yeah, they're pushing them into a season that they're not ready for. And it's terrible. So you know what? Again, try not to have any regrets. You know, understand and identify the seasons that you are in and that you are entering in. Don't be so premature or rush. You know, have patience. Don't force yourself in a season when it's not your season. And when the season is up, gracefully bow down and say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. The season is up. Also, try to tap into things that, you know, healthy things that make you feel good, whether it's wonderful music. For me, again, it's scripture, meditating on the word of God, exercising, jogging, hanging out with loved ones, reading a good book, you know, something that will give you a wonderful escape. Also, be authentic. Know who you are. Don't compare yourself to other people. Stop comparing yourselves to other people because you will never win. And what I mean by that is you really don't know what happens behind closed doors. You really don't know what happens behind closed doors. And you're trying to compare yourself to this next person because you feel inadequate. And you aren't focused. What did I say? What you focus on will grow. You're focused on the negative aspects of yourself. And if you keep focusing on the negative aspects of yourself, that's what's going to grow. Oh, I can't do this. I'm a nobody. I don't know how to do this. I wish I were like this person. I wish I were like that person. What are some of the positive things about yourself? Did you open a door for somebody? Or maybe you just a mean rattlesnake. I don't know. But think about the positive things about yourself. Because oftentimes, if you are so consumed with negativity, that's what you're going to spew out. It's going to be so embedded and so enmeshed in your DNA that it's just like, oh my gosh. So those are the things that, you know, I hope can help you become or maintain well mentally, because again, it all starts with your thoughts. When you wake up in the morning, you may plan out your day. That's your thought life. Even when you're in your sleep state, having dreams, that's your thought life. Like your thought life is forever working. It's forever working. And we have to try to, in a sense, control it as best we can. And try to really focus on the positive things. Trust me, it's hard. It can be very challenging, but it is worth it at the end of the day. So, Curtis, you have any last words or anything you want to say?
No, that's it. I mean, unless you want to just mention your friend working at that company that did the app.
Who?
Your friend, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has authorized the use
of
prescription digital treatment for depression. It's called Rejoin. It's a smartphone app intended for use alongside antidepressant medications for people 22 and older who have been diagnosed with a major depressive disorder.
Yes, I can't find it on my phone.
And it's put out by a company called Atsuka or something like that. Oops.
Yes, a Japanese pharmaceutical, Asuka or something like that.
Atsuka or something like that. So
yeah.
they're going to be helping you on your phone maybe in the future.
Yeah.
These apps that you're going to have a AI psychiatrist on your phone.
Yeah, well, we said that a while ago.
Maybe that'll help them. They'll see. They said they're doing it because that's what people are used to. You know what I mean? People are on their phone all the time, so maybe that would be the way that they do it. You know what I mean? That they finally get that help because it's on an app. Okay,
I do, but the one thing about technology, it can be hacked, and I just hope because people are mean. Oh, thank you. Namaste. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you. Yeah, people are mean. And they're like, they try to hack computers. They could try to hack your phone. They can, So we'll see how it goes. For me, I like the face-to-face, I can see. But, some people aren't like that. And then next week in the Urban Suite, we're going to have my husband on the show because we're going to resume with the relationship segment the third Tuesday of each month. So he's going to be on the show, and we're going to have fun talking about, I have no idea what aspect of, relationship, but it's going to be fantastic. And then that'll be it. And then we'll be entering, Lord willing, our 5th month of the year because this is month 4. It went so fast. It's going so fast. It's going super duper fast. So my urbanites, on that note, I thank you for entering into the Urban Suite. Don't forget to like, share. Also, you can listen to me on Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Amazon audio platforms. And I can be found on LinkedIn and Facebook on the Urban Tools for Change. And on my LinkedIn, it's just Dr. Lisa Lacan. So with that, I thank you for entering into the Urban Suite with me, where you laugh, learn, cry, and grow every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on that note, Marley, take us away.